Well, hi, everybody. First order of business. Happy New Year. Um, let's all hope that you had some downtime and some family time and some friend time and some everything you wanted time. And we're about to kick into a new year. If you haven't heard the news, AI is probably the story of the year. And so we have a pretty exciting show. So we're not going to do our typical opening, but we really want you to spend time today dipping your toes into the water of video creation, video editing, and video distribution with using AI. So I'm going to click to me there, and I'm going to head back here for a minute. I'm going to quickly introduce
I'm
we have
coming.
AugX Labs. Jeremy Toeman is a dear friend. I'm not going to say an old friend. We've been working on projects forever together. And he'll talk to you about creation of video. Opus Clip will talk to you about taking those really long videos that you never wanted to watch in the first place and using AI to chop them down to size. And then Nick Morolda will talk to you about how corporations can get these videos out, know where they've made mistakes, what's working, what isn't working. So I think we have a pretty ambitious agenda, and then I really want to hear from you because I think things are going to change even more this year. And just to give you an idea, just if you just look at the web today, look at the internet today, more than half of what is up there is now video. I don't know how many of you remember when it was like text. So we have a lot of video out there. I'm gonna say video, whether however we feel, has become the lingua franca of the internet. You're gonna see a lot of video shopping this year. Huge thing. So I just sort of, well, actually, I can't take credit. I asked ChatGPT what were the benefits of video. And so I take no credit, and you can add to this list, but whether you want to make something more understandable, more immersive, more visible, whether you want to tell a story, whether you want to bring in people from afar like we're doing, whether you want to archive things, social media engagement, and education. I mean, you're just seeing video having a renaissance like never before. And then more important, probably, like that stuff, ChatGPT gets that stuff. I did this one. So this is, if you think about video, it was always what you'd call unstructured data. It was just a bunch of stuff. Couldn't do much with it, but look at it, unlike a database, let's say. So um, when you have tools like the ones you're going to see, all of a sudden, video is structured data. Video is something that you can mine and look at to analyze for sentiment, to see who's clicking where, to get a summary of the video, to look for keywords and speech recognition, to look for what the scene is, to look for what objects are, movement is, summaries of key points. And so you're going to see, just like your cars drive themselves with cameras all around them, now you're going to see video become data in the most really exciting way and kind of terrifying way, because a lot of it has to do with facial recognition, and we can talk about all of that later. But what I'd like to do is, now that I've sort of given you this view of video being just so important for everything that any company, any business, any consultant, any student is going to do this year, I want to turn it over to my friend Jeremy Toeman. And Jeremy will tell you about this product he's been working on, but is just really about to hit the market, AugX Labs. And think about it, if you can speak, you can turn it into a video. So Jeremy, take it away, and thank you for being here.
Thanks, Robin. It is great to be here. And yeah, we've known each other for long enough that I'm sure there are people on this call who were toddlers at the time. So really, really appreciate being here. And as Robin said, we have some pretty big launches coming soon. Right now, I want to show you the current state of the product and platform. So I'm going to turn on the screen share and off we will go. Basically, just to set this up, our vision is to, as Robin said, if you can type, if you can make a spreadsheet, if you can make a presentation, our vision is that you can also make a video. 70% of US businesses make no videos today, and those are the businesses that need it. I'm not talking about factories or a corner store. I'm talking about brands, whether it's B2B or B2C, where video would really augment their capabilities. So our goal is to help bring a video to every business that might need one, as well as individuals, entrepreneurs, side hustles, content creators, etc. So that all said, I'm going to go into a demo here. I'm going to show you, we'll start by me showing you our current product. So everything you'll see here, you can go today and go use and do. And then I'm also going to show you guys a quick sneak peek of something we haven't showed to the public before. So whoever's here gets to see something for the first time. So I'm going to hit what we call our classic create. Now, for those of you who might be comfortable making a voiceover or writing a script, you can use those as well. But so many of our users, we like to think about teaching them to fish. So first, we like to show you there's many kinds of video you might make, right? It's really different to make an ad versus, for example, thought leadership, and depending on the age and geography. But I'm going to make today a fun, actually not thought leadership, educate. Why tennis is a great hobby. Okay, so maybe I don't know, you're part of the US Tennis Association trying to get more people to get started. You got to keep up with the TikTok machine. And so that's a post a day. So here's a script. And I can obviously come in and change all the little nuances. I'm just going to leave it in the interest of time. We've partnered with a technology provider called AugX Labs that does AI voices. And this lets me get a voice here.
Hi, I'm Andre, and I'll be the voice of your Augie today.
Hi, I'm Antoni, and I'll be the voice of your Augie today.
And Tony sounded too happy for me. I'm going to go with Adam. I like Adam's tone. So we'll keep going. What this will do is generate a first preview. Just in the interest of time, though, I'm going to speed through a couple of the steps, but you will see literally the start to finish of everything here. So I'm just going to say, sounds good. Usually, again, we recommend you listen to it. I'm going to hit next. Now we have a partnership with Getty Images. It gives us access to over 60 million pieces of premium content, and that comes with commercial licensing. To access the premium content, you must use our paid subscription. It's $40 a month. Or you can use our free content library, which also includes, I think it's 30 million of other clips. So there's tons of content to be used. And I'm going to hit go. What our experience does, what Augie does, is we use the phrase, we turn your words into videos, because it's true. We take whatever the speaker was talking about, whether that's a human or an AI, whoever was talking, we listen to the words being spoken, we generate a transcript for whatever it was, and then we do one really important thing. We listen to the timing of the speaker's voice, because we all sound a little different. And then whatever those natural pause points are, we use to build an initial storyboard. In fact, if you saw on screen, you're watching it happen right now, we built the storyboard where it said breaking into shots. What it's doing right now is looking at the context of each of those shots based on the words being said and associating some clip. Again, I chose to use all stock media for this, but you could use your own B-roll. You could use content. Maybe you have lots of B-roll. You need to get it smaller. You're hell about what to do that later. But if you have some existing content, you can mix and match. But here we go. The Universal Joy of Tennis is the name of today's video. Now, the first thing we do, we call this the rough cut report. It's kind of an industry term, but we want you to know not only how much your video is, but how long it might have taken you to do manually, and that we're not actually done. Every video needs their own kind of personal touch. So we're going to take a look at where we got started. And as I can see right off the bat, the tennis match is off. So before I do anything, I just want to show you how easy it is when you see something seems wrong. I do tennis videos a lot because I like tennis. When you see anything go wrong, you can just make a change. And look at this. Now, instead of, computer girl with her iPad, we've got people playing tennis. And I think the slow-mo woman looks great. Now, let's see what the AI did for us.
Tennis, the ultimate sporting passion. The graceful swings, powerful serves, and the exhilarating rallies have...
So we can see right off the bat that some of the matches later on I can see are already better. The fun thing about our product is we've really tried to make it that's easy to fix. So this was off because of the term graceful. So I'm just again going to go, in fact, I'll do tennis swing. And as you can see, there's a couple of different ones. I'll grab this lady. Powerful serves. I'm going to say tennis, tennis serve. I'll do this guy. And then I'm also noticing that this is long. This is like a 5-second clip. So I'm going to go over here to the transcript and check this out. It's so easy to make changes. I'm just going to move that to end with the word exhilarating. And now the word rallies has moved over to this slot. So one last time, I'll just do tennis and just get one last thing that maybe represents a rally, or that guy running. No, this one. Why not? Now, with my last couple of seconds here, I'm going to give this a visual effect. I thought it looked a little washed out. I'm going to put on some background music. Let's go with this one. We want to preview it today. I'm going to add closed caption, right? If this video is going to end up, for example, on TikTok, closed captioning is going to be really, really important. And we've got a bunch of those kind of modern effects of it to add automatically. So that said, I spent about 1.5 minutes editing. Let's see what I was able to do.
Yes, the ultimate sporting passion. The graceful swings, powerful serves, and the exhilarating rallies have captivated players for generations. It's a
So I could go through and make more changes and finish it up. To be honest, in about 2 minutes, I'd have this in a place where I would put it on social. Then again, it's my product. I've been using it for a long time. What we're learning from our users, though, is that rapid ability to get a starting point, right? You never have a blank canvas with us is what's key. So that's a quick demo of Augie. There's a lot more I could show you, but in the interest of time, I'm going to give you a very, very fast preview of what we call the storyteller. This is going live next week, and it lets me basically think of like a bedtime story for a family member or something like that. This is less about the professional use, but we built the technology and people are loving it, so we brought it to them. But I want a story about my 4-year-old girl, Jill, who loves dragons and unicorns. And I'm going to hit go. And what this will do is, just as you saw with our previous technology, it'll generate a script. I could edit if I want. I could preview the voice of it. But now I can also actually make a video. And so we get pre-built styles, literally by the hundreds. And just to get straight to what you might get as an output, this was one I made for a friend who has a son who loves dinosaurs. So this is Akash the dinosaur.
Once upon a time, there was a little dinosaur named Akash, who loved to stare up at the night sky, gazing at the twinkling stars. He loved to see shooting stars fly by, but mostly just wondered what these little fires in the sky could mean. He even made up lots of animals he imagined in the sky, like a crab, a bull, a lion, and even a little dipper.
So that was Akash the dinosaur. Again, this video was generated entirely via AI, entirely via the single prompt. And this will be launching very soon. We'll share the link later, but you can sign up to be one of the first to know on Product Hunt. So that's Augie. Thank you very much.
Wow. So just review for everybody. That's a lot taken. So is it like a chat GPT that generates the script? Is it a and then so you generate the script, and then you have this huge library of images that knows the words. So if
That's
I
right.
say,
So we use, I think it's 7 different LLMs across the path of our product. You know, we've been at it. We actually started building this before the LLM revolution or the AI era, whatever we're calling this. So this just actually sped up a lot of our ability to do things that we weren't planning. Like, we didn't have AI voices even on the horizon when we started this company. So we thought it would be about you narrating your story. So the AI world has sort of let us like dramatically increase the capabilities and speed that we bring them to market. But we generate the script for you. We do the AI voice. We will generate images using either DALL-E 3 or Stable Diffusion or Midjourney. We will now generate animations. We will do the prompt. The prompt work we do actually is multi-layered prompting to make sure the narrative stays consistent across a video. So there's a lot of things happening under the hood, but fundamentally, you know, and if you were watching this, by the way, and you're like, oh, I've seen videos like these, like people are doing this. Absolutely. We haven't done something no one's done before, but what we've done is package it all up into one experience where you as a marketer or whatever it might be can put the whole thing together without having to go to 17 different tools, right? So that's really where we are.
It's really great. And so really it's and you guys, there is a free version and then a paid, as Jeremy said. So what happens if I want, so two questions. One, so if I want to make a Trump video, you have enough, yeah, I can do that. If I want to if I say make me a story about January 6th, what happens?
Well, lots of people are making up stories about January 6th, but sorry, I can't resist. So we do a few things to try to protect kind of our users and the community at large. We've decided that we will be a company that puts a fork in the ground of like what you do and don't do. So for example, the only way to do voice cloning in Augie is with the microphone. You can't upload Trump or Tom Hanks or whoever you might want and try to simulate their voice.
So no synthetics, right?
No synthetic voices. Secondly, and we're actually considering adding watermarks into the video, the invisible watermarks in as well. The second thing is we have a hate speech filter built in. In fact, we turn on the hate speech filter months before we turn on any form of monetization. It was one of the first things we put live. Around other safeguards, there's not much we can do with what the user might upload of their own. But because we do see the whole script, we can absolutely block a lot of things. And so that's where we are now.
And I think your sweet spot, we've talked about this, is really marketers. Something like 91% of marketers use video as as the messaging now. And
it's insane, the stats that we're seeing. You do emails, Robin. I don't know your stats, but I know that the average newsletter that has videos in it has a 300% increase in open rates. We also know that by putting a video on your homepage, Google's SEO indexing goes up by about 55%. So those two reasons, beyond just like where are your actual customers, and pro tip, they're watching videos. Beyond just that element, just even using it in your day-to-days will change the game of your business and the visibility. We know Meta is prioritizing it. Who knows what's coming with Vision Pro, et cetera.
Right. So you're not looking to make like the next great like Western or Academy Award winner, but social media marketing, birthday cards. I'm thinking, by the way, Jeremy did in his earliest version, we worked together to do a tutorial about the virtual events group. And it was really, really you've come so far. And I forgot to actually show the slide because I think we did put video in these. Because we know video works, because you taught us that. It'll come on next. But thank you. Any questions from anybody? Just sort of unmute yourself and ask a question. Unmute yourself, Kate.
Hi, darling. Big surprise. Got a question. So exciting, Jeremy. The last thing Robin said, birthday cards. I went, whoa, because my goal is education via entrepreneurship. So for example, right now, talking to people at Medgar Evers College, most of those kids are not getting fancy jobs. I'm saying, let's teach them this. And as I was listening to you, I'm thinking, okay, how does a kid make a buck? Well, I guarantee you most of my friends are not going to get there and make that video for their grandchild, but they would pay somebody to do it for them.
We're seeing people like on Fiverr and Upwork are starting to use the product for things like that because it's so fast and easy. So that's certainly a possibility. We're also adding a lot more automated capabilities. So in the future, you'll be able to upload like a picture of your loved one and say, make me a birthday video for this person, and that'll just work. So a lot of that coming.
But really, Kate, like this should be part of every employee's reskilling. They should play with all of these products for
all the time. Yeah.
I've got my local high school. Where my kids go to high school, actually, we're going to be doing a couple of pilot programs, both on helping teach kids I said to them, it's like, don't teach them PowerPoint. They're not going to use it. Teach them how to make and present themselves via video because they're going to need to do
Yeah.
that in life,
Yeah.
and so we're going to do a couple of trials.
Where are you located?
We're a virtual company, so we're actually literally international, but I myself am in the suburbs of New York in a really tiny town called Irvington.
Listen, I will stop talking, but we got to have like coffee at the Chelsea Hotel. You got to be my guest sometime soon with Robin. I would love to talk with you more.
Okay, the Chelsea's gone. Yeah, I was just there.
I
for
like
the party.
Chelsea. I like coffee. Maybe we'll put a little stuff in it. It'll be great. I'm there.
Jeremy, I didn't know you were that close to me. We're big Hudson River. Did you flood? Yeah, no, we
No,
did.
we're thankfully at the top of a hill.
We could have parked at your, yeah. So, okay. So moving on. So now Jeremy's like created just with words or with AI. Jeremy's created a long video. Now we're going to turn our attention over to Conor Eliot. And Conor, Opus Clip. And if you've ever sat through our meetings, about we play them for 50 minutes and everybody really wants to watch just 30 seconds and get the idea. And guess what we use to make that happen often. So I'm going to introduce Conor and see, Jeremy, we did put video in because we understand. So Conor is going to take you through Opus. So now think about the next step in the process. Nobody wants to watch your boss's keynote speech for 45 minutes or your, all of the debates. They would just want to see the highlights. Take it away, Conor.
Sure thing. Thank you, Robin. First of all, Jeremy, that was awesome. Thank you for sharing. Really, really cool demo. So yeah, Opus Clip is pretty straightforward. I think we're all kind of just trying to solve the same problems, and I think overall, looking at AI and where it's going, I think really 2024 is the year for AI in video, right? There's so many different problems that you can solve now with AI, and that we're getting close to being able to solve. And we're really excited about sort of our niche and what we've sort of been able to dominate and master so far, and that is video repurposing. So we're not going to take something and help you make something from scratch. We will take any existing video out there, anything long form that you've created, and help you cut it down and make and find the best highlight moments for you and turn those into clips optimized for their virality to make sure that whatever you have, whatever video content that you have, you will be able to get it in front of the people that you want to be able to see it. And I think that's the most important, most sort of essential part of video these days, is that the landscape has changed drastically, right? Whether you're the most camera shy person in the world, or you're somebody like Grant Cardone here, who is on camera all day, every day, and probably has a film crew following around 100% of the time, you need to be able to get your video in front of the people that you're trying to get them to your audience, right? Whether that audience is a general audience and you're just a podcaster, or you're a podcaster of a very niche topic, or more specifically, if you're a business and you're trying to market to people, right? We also have people in sales and a bunch of different realtors, churches, a bunch of different people that have all started using our product already. And it really all comes down to this, right? You have footage out there, right? This meeting, right? Like Robin just said, is a perfect example of that. You sit on Zoom meetings all the time. In the post-pandemic era, we're constantly recording things. So no matter where you are sort of on that camera comfort level thing, I promise you do have footage out there that's worth using, and that does have highlight moments that do have value for your business. So just to give you an example, when Grant learned about this, he became a rapid adopter of it. I would say since finding out about it, about half of his videos that he puts out on his social media that are short form are taken from some of his old content. So for instance, this was an interview that he did with Kevin Hart at Grant Cardone's convention back in 2021. So this is footage that's been out there, and it's been on his YouTube channel since 2021. All he did was take that interview with Kevin Hart, plug it into Opus Clip, and then repost it onto his Instagram a few months ago, and he racked up 7.8 million views. As simple as that. And this is what Opus Clip looks like. Basically, what it does is it automatically reframes your wide format into a vertical format. It'll add captions, it'll add emojis, and it will give you basically a really clean summary of a highlight moment from that longer video that you had created. So let me get you into the details here and show you how it works. Let me know if you guys are having trouble seeing the screen at all. So basically, here's how it works. You grab any video you want. In this case, I'm going to grab as an example, Javier Milei's speech from the World Economic Forum. I'm grabbing that because it's Creative Commons. So that's another thing, is that there is a lot more stuff that's usable to you out there for you to post and share. We have there's a really popular LinkedIn creator out there named Ruben Hassid, and almost every week he's making a post about us where he's showcasing different ways that with some clever GPT prompts, finding some free content that's out there that's listed as Creative Commons on YouTube, and then putting together a really nice post with a highlight clip on LinkedIn. You can rack up thousands of impressions, or if not millions of impressions on a weekly basis, just doing this format, where you're taking something that's controversial or popular or very topical for some segment of business, then going to GPT saying, hey, I want you to write me a script based on this video, or a copy that goes with this video. GPT writes the copy, you throw it together, you post it on Instagram, or sorry, you post it on LinkedIn, and boom, you just keep doing that on a daily basis. It's actually, it only takes about 5-10 minutes of your time, and you will grow on LinkedIn, I promise. But anyway, I digress. This is basically how it works. So all I have to do is, I selected this video, it's Creative Commons. I can copy it. I can copy the link. Oops, I don't want to copy the link address. You copy the link, and then you go to our dashboard. You grab the link, you click paste. And once you click paste, it's recognized the video, and then you can do a bunch of different things to it. So for instance, if you want, we have a caption only option, a caption and reframe only option. So if you want to have the original long length video, you can do that. This only works up to 15 minutes though for right now. So anything over 15 minutes. So for instance, if I select this option right now, it'll only take the first 15 minutes of the video. But as long as whatever you're putting in there is under 15 minutes, if you just want the captions and the reframing, no curation, you toggle this on. If you want it to find the best moments for you though, you leave this off. And then you can pick any part of the video you want, and then you can tell our AI what you're kind of looking for in terms of the length of the clips that you're trying to output, right? So if you only want really short, like 10 to 15 second clips, you select this under 30-second option. And if you really want like long form, wide format clips, you can select the 5 to 10 or 10 to 15 minute options. And then you can choose different styles. You can open up this thing, which is our brand editor. And there's tons of different brand templates. We also have some pre-baked templates for you that you can check out. Sorry, that's struggling to load. And basically you can, here you can basically have all your preset templates plugged in, and then you can basically flip through the pre-selected templates that you want, click get clips in one click, and boom, it will start processing your video for you. You wait about, it usually takes around 10 minutes or so. As you guys saw, who were on the call early, I had actually, when we were previewing this, I had just put this in right before we started this, about, I would say, yeah, maybe 15-20 minutes ago, and the clips are already all ready to go. So this was a 29-minute video. It created, out of those 29 minutes, 21 individual clips. So these are all different clips with different lengths that highlight different things, and each individual clip gives you a score, which is what we call our virality score. This is really what has made us really popular. It's helped us grow and gain over 3 million followers in just a little over 6 months since launch. And that is the ability for the AI to actually give you a predictive score on how well it thinks it's going to perform, how complete it thinks the video is, and then it even goes in and gives you a little blurb where it says, the video starts with a strong and thoughtful, provoking hook, capturing the viewer's attention. It presents a clear and coherent argument supported by a relevant example. So basically, it actually explains to you why it likes it. And then if you go down to the one at the bottom here, which only gave a score of 60, it tells you why it doesn't actually think it's that great of a video, that great of a clip. But it still provides it to you because who knows, maybe with a little bit of editing or maybe with some tweaking on your end, there's still value there, and it's what you were looking for. So just to give you an example, right? So I grabbed this, just to remind you guys. So this was the long format video that I grabbed originally. So this is Milei giving a speech a day or two ago at the World Economic Forum. And then if I hop over here,
we know those are long. Yeah, we know
yes,
that.
Exactly. Now you can see what it did with it, right? So it turned it into a vertical format. What happened? It added captions. I don't know why it's not playing. The share screen's giving it a hard time.
Main leaders of the Western world have abandoned the model of freedom for different versions of what we call collectivism. We're here to tell you that collectivist experiments are never the solution.
So this is what it's able to do, right? So it was able to find a really key part of the video that it thought was important. It put it together for you, and then it added the captions automatically. And then from here, we have a almost limitless number of possibilities of what you can do with it. So first and foremost, we have this ability you can actually see all the text here. You can edit text like in Descript. So if I wanted to say, for instance, hey, I actually want a morally desirable system to be the end of it, I can set that as the end, and boom, that will now be the end of the clip. I can also change the colors of the highlighted text. I can add emojis into any given point, and then I can also cut out the middle. So if I wanted to like highlight these words, for instance, and I don't want them, I can delete that, and it'll delete from the clip. And then you can also sort of cut and edit from a frame by frame level here in the editor. And then from a design standpoint, you have a lot of different options. So first and foremost, layout wise, if it's a meeting like this and we have many different speakers and a lot going on, the AI will actually be able to choose a format that works for up to 4 speakers, right? So it doesn't handle more than 4 speakers very well, just because the boxes start to get very small in vertical format and it's hard to see people. But it'll accommodate up to 4 faces on the screen at a time. That is the one facial recognition element of what we do, right? Is that we are trying to constantly focus on the person's face. We want to make sure that whoever's speaking is able to stay locked in on their face. And then we also have a screen share feature. So if you are sharing your screen like I am right now, you will be able to get that screen into the clip as well. And then a couple of the other cool things we have are, for instance, auto B-roll. So to give you an example of what auto B-roll looks like. Oh, that's still processing there. Let's hop over to here. Here's what auto B-roll looks like. Auto B-roll, basically, when you turn it on, it will automatically find moments in the video that it thinks are appropriate for you to add B-roll into the video. And it will take it, it will add it in, and then you'll see it shows up here in the editor. So for instance, it identified NFL, and it gave me this option. And then if I go ahead over here, I can see that it searched NFL. So I can research and actually can go through and I can pick the option that I want. We have both Shutterstock and Pexel as options. So if you wanted to do something, if you wanted to do a free option, you can do that. If you want to do Shutterstock, we have a deal with them that makes their B-roll footage extremely cheap. But you still have to pay Shutterstock. We don't own Shutterstock, unfortunately. Maybe one day. And
you can use your own B-roll also, your own like videos, right?
Yes, that's coming here at the end of the month.
Gotcha.
It's a little bit trickier to do, less because of the importing of the individual videos, but more because of we still want it to be more automated and dynamic as much as possible. So what our ambition is, what we're trying to do with the add your own B-roll, is actually allow you to connect in your own B-roll library. So if you have like a lot of different options, you can put it in it. But as a stopgap, we are adding the ability for you to just pick one specific B-roll that you want and throw it in there here at, like I said, before the end of the month. And then so you can see another example here. This one said rookie. Maybe I don't want rookie. I can always just change the keyword that I wanted and adjust it like that. For instance, to say newcomer instead. Let's see if it gives me better options. Right. And then it gives me different options there. So that's how our B-roll feature works. And then on top of that, we have like a lot of different styles and templates and a bunch of different things that you can do. And if you're a pro and or you're working on a team, let's say you're a team of 10, 20, 30, or a big organization, you can actually take the clips that you receive and export them directly into Adobe. So if I exit here,
Main leaders of the Western world have abandoned.
I can actually export the clip as an XML file, and it will actually give you everything that you need, besides any overlays that you add. Any overlays that you added in here, like if you wanted to add your logo or things like that, you'd still have to reapply them in Adobe, because we don't want them to block whatever editing you're trying to do in Adobe. But besides that, everything else will automatically apply and show up in Adobe for you. So that's pretty much that. That's what we're doing with Opus Clip.
And that you come up with the titles for each section also. That's generated automatically to me, So just like as a user, the things that amazed me were you generated the titles off of the text, and I kind of used it as a bad Robin reminder, like the things that scored lower in the bottom, try and stay away from speaking like that. Like, so I actually used it to kind of give messages more impact.
Yeah, exactly. Like when we first built the tool, we were really thinking of that a very narrow use case. Like we were thinking, oh, content creators, they have such a hard time, navigating the modern, digital landscape. Long form content has always been king, but people aren't watching long form anymore. They don't have attention spans. TikTok has changed everything. So that was sort of where we started. We have no idea how many people would adopt this or how they would use it. For instance, there's a popular creator on LinkedIn named Charlotte Lloyd who figured out that, hey, she's a sales expert and a sales consultant. And she realized if I use this with my clients and I actually have them give me footage from their sales calls and clip it for them, I can actually show them examples without me having to actually really do any work. I just have to go through and watch a few of the clip results. I can show them examples of when the salesperson did a great job versus did a terrible job just by looking at like the rankings and seeing, okay, this is a highlight moment, and the AI was able to identify it because they were able to engage the person that they were trying to sell to. And on the flip side, some of the ones that got ranked really poorly actually sort of indicate, okay, something didn't go right here, right? There's big awkward pauses. The person is maybe there's a connection issue, or more likely than not, it's because the person that's trying to explain themselves isn't doing a very good job explaining themselves.
But I saw you have a filter to remove the ums and the ahs, right?
It does its best to try to remove everything. You can always
Yeah.
additionally manually remove them if the AI missed something. But overall, I think it'll clean up your speech. It'll help you identify your speech patterns and the way that you're speaking, and help you figure out, okay, what are the trends of what the AI is liking about what I'm doing and what is it not liking about what I'm doing. So I think that's one really cool use case. There's literally limitless use cases. And our main ambition here over the first half of this year is we will be expanding to be able to basically clip anything, right? The main limitation of our clipping tool right now is that it does require speaking, right? So it is based primarily on large language model. There are some visual triggers. We are rapidly improving, just like you saw with Jeremy, our ability to actually do a lot better recognition and then decision making on video itself, right? So it'll actually have those sort of visual elements and those visual triggers and hooks to be able to say, okay, here's what's happening visually. Okay, there was a scene change here. It'll be able to identify the individual scenes within the video and be able to make decisions on them, so that we can do anything from vlogging content to clipping up the NFL's content to clipping up whatever it is out there that has a maybe isn't like really speaking driven, but is something that you'd still want to have highlight moments from.
Dark and so before we move on to Nick, and I really want you to see what he has, because it brings it full circle. Let's bring Jeremy back, because I didn't ask you something really important, and I was very US centric. And Felix came onto the call, and hi Felix, and I realized you both do localization into foreign languages, or no? Not yet. Or
Not yet, but it's coming really soon. I'm sure Connor's doing it too. It's going to be table stakes in the space.
yeah.
If I'm being honest, I'll tell you the conundrum that we have, and I'm curious others takes, just to plant a seed for the future, is subtitling. Opus does it, we do it. Every tool has some version of it, but so do the players. And so the question I have is, should we all be investing in cool ways for the video to have the subtitles, or do we just trust YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn and everybody else? They're going to do a great job, because it's going to suck if you've got double subtitles, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to be that's going to be good for nobody. So just plan and I wonder the same on internationalization, right? YouTube's going to have real-time video translation in your voice 6 months from now, a year.
Next week, we're using one at an event called Verbit, and it's a QR code, and then the translation just happens on your phone. Because when we use translation, closed captioning is now the wrong word, but real-time captioning at CES, nobody told us about it, and we lost the top of our slides because the whole thing took up the caption. So I think You're right. It's a sort of a sticky whose job is it? And and there are lots of different ways to get it done, but it's got to get done. And so I guess when people are thinking about it, know that right, Google does it, TikTok does it, YouTube does it. So that's a way that they can get around it. And I guess my challenge to all of you in the audience is to take our our program today and run it through Opus Clip and find your best, see how we did. It'll be brutal. So
Yeah,
thank you guys. Any other
absolutely.
questions besides?
Yeah, let me just add, I think to address Jeremy's question, I mean, I've been working with some of the some really big everyone from really big YouTubers to some pretty big brands that are very active on YouTube, and across the board pretty much all of them hate the built-in players, captioning players. They're messy, they don't really, the text is either too tiny or too large, and they don't ultimately have control, right? And that's really what as you get more and more professional and to the higher level, the real video experts, the people that are really diving into the data and taking advantage of Nick and others' tools, you'll see that they really care about every little detail, and those captions are a big detail to them. And so they want to be able to create their own specific caption style, apply that style, and then be able to internationalize it themselves before YouTube's even touched the video, for sure. So I do think there's a lot of potential there. We are available in 22 languages currently. Obviously, still a lot of localization to go for improving those, not only those languages but all the others out there. As I'm sure you've experienced, Jeremy, there's a lot of challenges with it, especially in terms of every language has different lengths to them. They take up different amount of spaces on the screen, and they have a lot of different sort of quirks in terms of translation and how, even within, for instance, a language like Spanish, right? We group like Latin American Spanish into one big group, but that's not even true, right? Colombian Spanish and Mexican Spanish are more different than Spain Spanish. So, I think there's still a lot of challenges with localization of language, but we'll get there soon enough.
So that's a great segue to Nick, because he goes all over the world. And so think about, you've talked about creating video, editing video. Now we're talking about distributing it and distributing it with AI smarts. So Nick Morolda is with Hive Streaming, and their job is to just get your stuff out to where it needs to be.
Yep. That's a great setup. Thank you, Robin, and thanks all of you. It's good to meet you. As Robin said, I'm the Nick Morolda. I'm the head of solution engineering over here at Hive. It's Hive Streaming, but our name, it can be a little reductive because we're really a video experience company focused on a couple of aspects that are of delivery, but also analytics at the back of that delivery. So we exist primarily within the internal networks of Fortune 500 and large global organizations with a global footprint that have to service a high number of internal users for video. So if you think about the way, both for security reasons and just for logistical reasons, these large companies have for all intents and purposes, their own private internet. And they build their own private versions of YouTube on various streaming platforms. And it involves, all of the video, and going back to what Robin said, video is data, all of that data traffic has to traverse their own infrastructure and is subject to the limitations of their own capabilities. So what Hive does from we're an ECDN, Enterprise Content Delivery Network. We help them pass video around in a way that ensures that a user sitting in Manhattan is enjoying the same video quality with no additional latency at the same time as a factory worker in China or Vietnam, or a call center worker in India. So this idea of democratizing video across the organization, that really helps get the most out of both the messaging and the tools that they're already heavily invested in. So I think in 2023, I think there was like the enterprise spend on video initiatives was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 35 billion. And I think that's growing at a rate of 18% annually. So there are tons of investments in video tools, whether it's live streaming, whether it's VOD content creation, or some of the stuff we looked at today. there's a huge, especially post-COVID with hybrid work, everybody's trying to get as much video out as they can in a number of different ways. But how much of that investment is actually put into the delivery to make sure that the video gets to where it needs to go with the integrity maintained? You know, we see it all the time where you know, content creators will create these beautiful, detailed 1080p high quality video that by the time it gets to that user in India, or that user in, even staying in the United States, rural in Appalachia, is reduced to such a lower quality that the details are lost. And we feel that our central philosophy is that to drive organizational change, especially when it's needed more rapidly, video is essential for other business initiatives to be successful, because it's how you coordinate communication. So looking at in the way our tools work, it's based on with including AI and virtual machine learning, an algorithm that determines what is the fastest way for the user to get this video, if it is back to the public internet or from a user who's sitting right next to them. So Hive can get very technical very quickly, and a lot of our primary stakeholders are within IT departments. So I don't want to get too bogged down on details here, but I'll just show you some of the tools we provide in analytics that a lot of content creators use on a regular basis to validate that their messaging is successful in its delivery. So I'm going to share my screen real fast here. Okay, so is everybody seeing my screen? Great. So the first thing, and this is an exercise, we talked about the cost of investment in video tools, but also the cost of a failed event, let's say that, or a failed video delivery. Well, let's say that there is a live event. This is an exercise that some of our sales team do with our clients all the time, is let's say that there was an event that failed due to buffering or other network issues, or you know, the quality was just so low that it was unusable, or let's say it was 10,000 people over the course of an hour. Based on the labor statistics, its average pay is about $41 an hour. So total cost, and let's say it failed for half the event, you could be looking at, for a failed live stream or CEO town hall, upwards of almost over $400,000 in lost revenue, both in productivity and the cost of rerunning the event. So the reasons a lot of companies will come to us at first is because they just had an event fail. They need to know to save their jobs. In many cases, they need to not fail the next time. So that is the IT angle of this and why they love us, but also from the people responsible for producing, it is an essential part of how they make sure their messaging is successful. So for an example, I'm going to use Jeremy, I'm going to use Augie as an example for this. Let's say that there is an HR initiative for open enrollment. It's open enrollment benefit season, that they need to get this video out. They create to everyone in the organization, need everybody to sign up for their benefits. They use your tool to create an AI generated video that goes over the instructions and gives some additional information that is necessary to do that. And they upload it to, let's say, their internal YouTube, whatever it is, Vimeo. We work with 40 video streaming platforms front ends. So if you can think of it, we probably integrate into the back of it. And they send it out, and each one of those videos is going to get a page like this, where you are able to look at both the quality of the region, but also very detailed how it is looking in any globally for different users. So there's a lot of IT specific statistics in here based on, just to go over network and video performance. But if you can say, okay, the video is not getting to, there's only one viewer in Nigeria, or Tanzania, or wherever the issue might be, content creators and the people responsible for this video go back to their IT departments and say, they're not getting the content they need. We need to do some upgrades there. So it's a way of ensuring that the messaging is successful. And just through the internet, we can get to a level of detail that is really, really remarkable globally. And a lot of times, the way this is also used is let's say another scenario where there is a live event where the CEO is on vacation in Australia. It happens, and he calls. He for whatever reason cannot watch the event, and he gets mad. As they want to do, and will makes an angry phone call. And today, all they have is anecdotal evidence to say that, well, we didn't see any issues. Maybe it was something with the machine. What our stakeholders with us will do is they will find him based on the private IP address, see where this, in case they were sitting in Melbourne. So we can look exactly at what was happening with her or him. All of these statistics are for a single person watching the video. So if you have to go in and measure performance for key stakeholders in the organization, you have the ability to do that. Performance, but also engagement. So that brings us over here. We have a way of looking at very tangible statistics and metrics with the video, screen size, whether it's in the foreground or the background of the desktop, whether it's on a primary or secondary monitor, whether it has been minimized at all. And we aggregate all of that and generate what are essentially Nielsen ratings for your video. So, and we track it across the timeline of the video. So this was a long event, but it would work just as well on a 3-minute video where they could say, okay, everybody stopped watching after, say, 1.5 minutes. Maybe we need to revisit the content around that to make sure that there's higher engagement. You can do also things like check work from home engagement versus workers in the office engagement, depending on where the network locations are, and track this regionally. So users in the UK might have a different engagement score than users in the US, or users in different states might have different engagement scores. So it's really tangible feedback based on real player data that you're able to use and see how the media is actually being received. Real fast, the best story about this is we had a customer not long ago who called, and their engagement fell off a cliff right at about minute 16. This is not that example, but everything was highly engaged, and then it just fell right up precipitously. We saw no technical issues, but and so they were convinced something failed with the network. So we went and watched the event, and the first 15 minutes of the event were the CFO talking about yearly numbers and bonus payouts. After he spoke, they transitioned to the next speaker, and wouldn't you know it, everybody stopped paying attention. So that is what accounted for that drop in engagement score. So they were able to take that data and use it to restructure their next town hall. So this is the type of
so no bonuses until you watch the video, buddy.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the type of, and I know I'm probably coming up on my time here, but we're completely agnostic to the player, so we can work with, Microsoft is one of our biggest customers. We work on the back of their events internally, but also with all of their customers, a number of different. So it's the same if you have multiple platforms, it can work. So it really is a flexible way for under the hood. It doesn't affect the way that your video looks or in any way. You'd have no way of knowing it's on, but it's just humming in the background to make sure it's delivered properly and that you're getting all the feedback, technical feedback you need to make sure the content is being successfully structured. So that is deal.
Right, and I didn't even introduce you properly with your slides. So I'm going to go there. There you go, right there. So remember, if you came on at the top of the hour, I talked about video traditionally being unstructured data. Just stuff that was out there. You could never find out much about it. And Nick, you just showed us just how much. I mean, from time of day, I'm sure, also to, because you're global, do you guys move things across time zones, or is that not your job? Is that the company?
So it depends when the stream is actually launched, because you can use or when the video is launched, all of that, we're just reporting what is pushed by other platforms. So, but we have actually, speaking of AI, some tools that will look at all of your events and all of we have something like 200 customers globally in enterprise, and we look at all the data and we'll say to you, this is the best time for the most engagement to run your event. So they'll say Tuesdays at 3 o'clock for you or something like that. So that's the type of suggestive analytics and feedback we're able to provide based on that.
Yeah, and just to close the loop on this conversation, this is what we're talking about with Jeremy, Connor, and Nick when we're talking about video for the first time becomes data that you can use in so many different ways. Any other questions? We are streaming. I see we had some questions there, but we'll get to them afterwards. My homework is to use Opus and start clipping. So next week we will be at and actually Connor and Nick will be with us at Silicon, and Sherry, who's on the call also, at Silicon Valley Video Summit, where we really believe that it's time to shine the light on the people that are making all of this happen, and technical directors, producers. These are the jobs of the future, and the tools are so radically different than they've ever been before. And then we'll move on from there to NAB show, where we're building a creator lab, which, as you heard Connor speaking, and there's no shortage of creators using these tools to be more efficient about what they do and how they do it. So I think, hopefully you learned a lot. We haven't announced February yet, but I'll tease it. It will be a book discussion club, and you're going to have to get the book ahead of time, and we'll have the authors on, and it will be much more about AI on an ethical level. But any other thoughts or questions, comments? Kate, what a surprise.
No, I'm just enchanted with you as always, and everybody else. If anybody wanted to get together in person at the Chelsea Hotel to talk about this.
Wait, is that because you want us to be the next, like, Bob Dylan's or something?
Yeah,
or
yeah. Well,
Tones?
Leonard Cohen, remember what happened with Janis Joplin there, guys? Yeah, yeah. I just love to see some of you people in person, and I live down the street, and Robin didn't live far, and I'd love to see y'all.
No, and they have made that place. They've redone it. I was just
Yeah.
there for an event. It was
Amazing.
incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like history, guys. Thank you, sweetheart. I'll stop.
Okay, next one's live at the Chelsea Hotel. I remember it well. Okay, so with that, thank you for being here. And it's a wrap of another wonderful virtual events group. Thank you to Jeremy, to Connor, and to Nick for your smarts and blowing us away with what you've done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Oh my
thank you
God,
so much.
Nick knows the words. Nick, you can't be all right. Nick.
I'm very well versed in the music of Lenny C. So I couldn't help but jump on that. So I said it.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. All right, Chelsea Hotel it is. You let us know when you're coming in New York, and we'll do that. Okay, bye everybody.